First of all, got to take my hat off to Indiana. Woody did a great job with his team. He has a good team. Very solid, don't make many mistakes. They didn't shoot the ball great, but they made adjustments. They picked up the adjustments quick, and it caught us a little bit off guard. We became stagnant offensively. Hats off to them. The big fella, the two big guys really did a good job for them. I don't know how many points in the paint they had, but it was a lot. We're close. We just got to get over the hump. Just talking to the owner of the Knicks and the president, and they both said, man, the 2 games that we watched you play, y'all play hard, y'all are getting better. We see it. Well, I need that to translate to doubles, right? So I need this team to understand that, winning matters. Making winning plays, every little thing through the course of a game, it matters. Don't take moments for granted. Don't take seconds for granted. And then play winning basketball and just play as hard as you can together and see what the outcome is. Questions?
Sorry, John?
Hey, Kenny, before the season you said it was really important to be competitive in this event given what happened last year. Now that you accomplished that, how disheartening is it to come so close to a win that would have changed the morale in your locker room?
Great question. I mean, the guys are hurting, I'm hurting. I said it from day one, we are a much better team. We've gotten better, we are competitive. Man, if we tighten up a few things, where would we be sitting now? What if that shot yesterday doesn't go in? What would we be sitting here saying? What would we be sitting here saying if we finished out the game, we had them on their heels, the last 3 or 4 minutes go to a zone, and then which we've been really good against the zone, we get passive. Now we extend out 40 feet from the basket instead of close to the 3-point line and hold the ball and dribble the ball instead of zipping the ball around the court versus the zone and attacking gaps and getting the ball to the middle, which we practice every day. Again, we're close, but we got work to do.
Kenny, how much do you just kind of have to live with the growing pains of having young guards like Tyler and Sky? Because I was thinking specifically about halftime. In the first half, you're telling them to hold for 1 shot. Yesterday, too, and they kind of rush and make a play, and it ends up.
That's a great question. You have to, you don't want to take things away from them and make them passive. You want them to understand. The great part for me is both of them, the second they make the mistake, they understand and they say, I'm sorry, my bad. But I need them to grow. And in this game, the best players, the best teams, they make adjustments quicker. I need Tyler to make adjustments quicker. Learn the game faster. Learn everything about this game, everything about what it takes to be great at this level now. The same for Scott. In a lot of respects, Scott still has freshman stuff there because he didn't play a full season last year. So he's learning as well.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned they went zone there, and I think it was a 13-0 run that kind of decided the game. What was it about their zone that really impacted you guys?
I just think it forced us out. Really, we stayed out too wide. We didn't move the ball the way that we've been doing, and then we became passive. I mean, we telegraphed passes. One time we looked at a guy for 4 seconds before we threw a lob, they got a steal. One time we dribbled into it, and they got a turnover. We got a turnover. We drive in, we take a bad shot. We didn't make the correct reads. Against the zone, look, you gotta move the ball, you gotta see where you're passing it to, you gotta look for gaps, and you attack it. Ball movement, attack. Whether it's to the post or from the perimeter. We didn't really do that. We sort of got stagnant in the zone, and it knocked us for a loop, and we didn't make the adjustment.
Kenny, on the heels of 2 games that you had and you gave away, I'm wondering for you as a head coach, can you teach and coach winning traits and a winning mentality to your players, or is that something in your experience that needs to be experienced and achieved materially on the floor by them more than anything that you can particularly typically say or do with your staff in practice?
Great question. So for me, when I look at your question, the first thing is how do you simulate game pressure? Because like before we played Texas, guys, we haven't played a team this athletic, this fast. They shoot the ball like this. So I need our practices to be ramped up even more than they have been. And I try to simulate that. And that's probably the most that you can do. Because some of it they gotta learn on the fly. And they gotta get that experience to be able to be good at that experience when they're in it. It's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. And for me as well, you know, when you play teams that are high-level teams, you know there's going to be growing pains. You know there's going to be moments where the momentum isn't your way. And I'm just saying, fight through it. Be cognizant of what's going on the court. Be aware of everything on the court and learn from it. Willing learners.
Kenny played back-to-back days, so there wasn't all the time, obviously, to prepare for Indiana, but then they throw zone at you, which they've never shown all year. Did that just sort of like shock you guys, and you guys even talk about a zone with them at all in the night?
We did not. I knew Woody wouldn't play zone, or I thought he tricked me. But to be honest with you, that would be the last thing I think we would have a problem with, because we have been really, really good versus zone. Even in practices when the ball, when we really have a good feel for it, but in this game, we got tentative. We got stagnant. We processed the game instead of instinctively moving the ball. We telegraph passes. We got to do a better job and look at the film. I got to do a better job of getting them to understand the importance of shifting the zone and then attacking.
Next question right here.
Coach, at the end of the first half, you guys went to 7 out of, I think, the final 9 minutes without a field goal. What were they doing? What were you guys not doing to get on the board?
You know, for me, when I think about my team, you know, the one thing that's constant with us is that when we have success, the ball is moving and we're playing and we're attacking. When we have failures, so when you talk about lulls in the game, we settle for jump shots. And a lot of the jump shots are one pass and a shot or no pass and a shot. That's losing basketball. And getting them to understand that we have to move the zone, we have to move the man, we gotta move the ball around the court and we gotta attack, and we gotta get paint touches. Paint touches, if we get multiple paint touches, what we found is that we are a really good team. And that's when we shoot a bunch of free throws.